Good evening, Belize. It's Friday night and you're watching News 5. I'm Jamie Rock. Thanks for joining us. Here's what's making headlines tonight. A bitter harvest for the sugar industry. Weather, disease, and poor cane quality have led to one of the worst seasons in decades. We'll hear from BSI Prime Minister John Briceño and the Agriculture Minister. And Jose Mai on what went wrong and what's next. Also tonight, the PM praises his negotiation team, but will teachers and public officers accept a 4.5% salary? And also next, with strikes, threats still looming, the clock is ticking. In political news, the UDP's internal feud deepens. Tracy Tager Panton says she's still in despite the party's pushback. Plus, UB takes decisive action, firing Dr. Piyosaki after misconduct allegations surface. What does this mean for the university's culture and credibility? And in Cayo, a mountain of potatoes and a market in flux. Was it poor planning or outside pressure? All that and more coming up after the break. Stay with us. News 5 starts now.
Watch The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. exclusively on Channel 5 Belize. The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings every Sunday at 8 a.m. on Channel 5 Belize.
I am very pleased to share with you, Mr. Speaker, and with my colleagues that yesterday, Minister Mai, the honorable member from Orange Walk North and the honorable member from Toledo East and myself met with the entire team. And it was a good working meeting. We met at the offices of the Progressive Cane Farmers Association. And we discussed the plan that they produced based on the Commission of Inquiry's findings. And so on Tuesday, I'll be meeting with the cabinet and asking them for their support for us to be able to start to work immediately for the rescue of the sugar industry. And pretty soon, we will be doing the same for the citrus industry. This People's United Party government has not and will not and will never throw up our hands in the air when it comes to facing the difficult task that comes with governance. We will neither grieve nor weep. We will work because that is what the Belizean people expect of us. And that is why they, the Belizean people, are standing with us. We promise to improve the lives of our people, all our people. We promise to work hard every day to deliver more jobs, better health care, to give our children a good education, and keep us safe from threats at home and abroad, and we're doing just that.
Welcome back. The 2024-2025 sugarcane season has officially wrapped up, and the results are hard to ignore. BSI's Director of Finance, Sean Javaria, says this year's crop is one of the worst in decades, with cane deliveries falling below 884,000 metric tons and sugar production expected to dip under 79,000 metric tons. That's a 25% drop from last year and the lowest output in nearly 40 years. So what went wrong? From extreme weather and crop disease to poor cane quality and long factory stoppages, the challenges were many. But as losses climb into the tens of millions and farmers brace for lower payments, the bigger question is, how can Belize's sugar industry weather future storms? And is it time to rethink how we grow and grind?
This morning, we concluded the 2024-2025 milling season. The total cane received is just under 884,000 metric tons of cane. That's a low for us. The previous low was in the 2020 crop when we had the impacts of the severe drought from 2019. Where we had milled just slightly under 900,000 metric tons of cane. So for us, it's not a very good crop, and what has compounded it is the lower quality of cane that we received this year. Our TCTS, we're still going to be liquidating the factory in the coming days, but our TCTS will end up somewhere around 11.1, 11.2, which is one of the lowest we've seen since the 2010 crop. Total sugar production is estimated after liquidation to be somewhere around just under 79,000 metric tons of sugar cane. That's certainly one of the lowest we've had in the past 35 to 40 years. The previous low was in 2008 when we had produce just over 79,000 metric tons. So we'll be below that figure. And so it's not a very good crop from our standpoint. It's been very challenging. We've had a lot of issues with weather, disease, We had long stops as well due to heavy rains at the early outset of the crop. From our standpoint, production compared to last year, which even at that level was not ideal at 104,000 metric tons of cane, we're going to be 25% below that figure. So our losses will be significant this year in the tens of millions of dollars. Growers will similarly see a reduction in the cane price, not only because sugar prices have been lower, but the quality of cane, that TCTS ratio is much higher. And so from the same cane, you're getting less sugar.
Belize's sugar industry is facing one of its worst crises in recent memory. The season has come to a sudden and painful close with a record low yields and millions in losses. The culprit? A devastating fungal disease known as Fusarium, which has infected over 60,000 acres of sugarcane and severely damaged another 80,000. The result, a projected 30% drop in production, a staggering $53 million in losses, and a tough road ahead for farmers already bracing for sharp cuts in earnings. So what's next for one of Belize's most vital industries, and can it recover before it's too late?
The effect of it all is that today the sugar crop has come to an end, and it will be one of the worst sugar crops we've had in a long time. By the end, by this morning, again, the estimate is around 880,000 tons of cane would have been delivered. What's even worse is that the tons of cane to produce 1 ton of sugar has been even worse. The current tons per cane, tons of sugar stands at 11.12 tons of sugar of cane for 1 ton of sugar. When the cane is really good, you're getting probably about 9 tons of cane for 1 ton of sugar. So we are using another 2 tons and a quarter more to be able to make 1 ton of sugar. So this is by far the worst we've had production in recent history in the industry since 2011. BSI will produce just over 78,000 tons of sugar. For contents, this year the factory will produce 97,800 tons less than what was produced last year, and 154,000 tons of sugar less when it was produced in 2019. With a production of 880,000 tons of sugar cane producing 78,000 tons of sugar, the industry is projected to earn $110 million, mostly in foreign exchange, representing a significant reduction of $53 million from $63.5 million generated in 2024. Based on the current cane price estimate, farmers are expected to earn no more than $65 per ton of cane this year. This represents a $25 per ton, a reduction of $25 per ton when compared to the $90.23 per ton that was paid out last year. Our farmers will take home $31 million less than they took home last year.
With sugarcane fields under threat from a fast-spreading disease, the government is stepping in with a $500,000 pilot project to test treatments that show early signs of success. But that's just the beginning. Backed by regional and international partners, nearly $3 million has now been identified for an emergency response. Prime Minister John Briceño says it's clear what needs to be done: prevent the North from suffering the same fate as the South. But with the clock ticking and farmers already feeling the pressure, will this be enough to turn things around before it's too late?
We cannot and we will not allow this to happen. What happened to the citrus industry in the north, south, to happen to our sugarcane farmers in the north. If we are to be successful at this interministerial collaboration that's taking place, it will be important to do some of the following interventions which we're starting off, which we have to start implementations immediately. One, $500,000 have already been identified by the Ministry of Agriculture, which will be allocated immediately to a pilot initiative to start ridding these vines of the disease, these fields of the disease. Last November, researchers at CIRDI moved quickly to identify a possible treatment option, and earlier this year began testing this technology on 2 on-farm research plots. The results of this treatment, at least in the initial stages, looks also very promising. We've also met with BSI ASR, and they have brought in their soil scientists from Florida, where they have had a lot of success in dealing with this, and they too have also a treatment for this fungus. And so they will be working with us, with the Ministry of Agriculture, because this is a joint effort to see what would be the best way to be able to halt the spread of this disease and to be able to cure some of the fields that have been infected. So with this $500,000 that the Ministry of Agriculture has identified, the plan is to replicate this treatment on a larger scale by working jointly with farmers to treat the first 2,500 acres.
PM Briceño also revealed that senior economist Dr. Marcelino Avila has been appointed to lead a sugar committee tasked with developing a plan to modernize the industry based on recommendations from the Commission of Inquiry report. With the sugar industry in crisis, many Belizeans are wondering if grocery store shelves will soon be empty. But according to Agriculture Minister Jose Mai, the real threat isn't a lack of supply, it's illegal exports. As Mexico faces its own sugar shortage, contrabandists are eyeing Belize's cheaper, high-quality sugar. And that, says Minister Mai, could drain the local market. His proposed solution? Raise the local price to keep sugar at home.
I think there is a drop in production in sugar, right? I think it's 78,000 tons from 110,000 tons. That's a 25,000 ton drop in sugar. But our local consumption is about 12,000 tons. So we have for local consumption. What I'm uncertain of is how is Mexico coping with their local demand? Because Mexico has 3 markets, the local, the world market, and the US market. But their price locally is 3 times higher than Belize. So clearly, if the price of sugar is 3 times expensive there, and ours is at 75 cents, I mean, the contraband becomes rampant, it becomes uncontrollable. That is why we're saying that we need to increase our price to maintain our sugar here. And damn, we will not import sugar from the US this year. We're not looking at that. That is not something that we encourage. It is not something that's good for the country. We have our local consumption. We need to produce enough for our people, and then you export the excess.
You will need to increase the local price of sugar. By when is that expected to happen?
Well, we have been discussing it for some time. We've been getting some pushback. But I think that it is just fair that the farmers get a fair price for their sugar. Now, we are working on a paper right now. We had submitted one to Cabinet. I didn't get approval for it. But we are revisiting it, seeing that it's necessary for the farmer to get an extra an increase in the sugar price. What's important here is that the benefits of an increased price be what you call it is justified one, and that is equitable.
So will it work or just make things harder for consumers already feeling the pinch? Belize's economy is showing some serious staying power. Despite big hits to agriculture and manufacturing, the country still managed to grow 2% in the first quarter of 2025. That's right. While sugarcane and citrus took a dive, tourism and services stepped up in a big way. Cruise ships are docking, hotels are buzzing, and financial services are booming. But here's the twist. While more Belizeans are working harder than ever before, many are still feeling the pinch at the grocery store, and not everyone's sharing in the recovery. So is this a comeback story or a tale of two economies? Let's break it down.
Belize's economy showed resilience in the first quarter of 2025, posting a 2% growth despite significant contractions in agriculture and manufacturing. According to the Statistical Institute of Belize, the country's gross domestic product reached $1.486 billion, up from $1.457 billion in the same period last year. The tertiary sector led the charge, expanding by 7.4% to $977.6 million, fueled by a 12.2% surge in accommodation and food services, and a 12.6% boost in financial and insurance services. Tourism played a key role, with cruise arrivals rising 5.2% and overnight visitors up 1.9%. However, the primary sector shrunk by 10.8%, hit hard by a 29.7% drop in sugarcane production due to fusarium disease and steep declines in citrus and banana outputs. The secondary sector also fell 8.7%, driven by a 20.4% slump in manufacturing, including a 36.9% drop in sugar production and a two-third plunge in citrus concentrate output. Despite these challenges, marine exports surged 38.5% and electricity generation rose 9%, signaling pockets of strength in the economy. Belize's Q1 performance highlights a shifting economic landscape, with services outpacing traditional agriculture and manufacturing. In May 2025, Belize's inflation rate ticked up by 1%, with everyday essentials like food, rent, and cooking gas leading the charge. While that may sound modest, the rising costs of basics like bread, fruit juices, and even deodorant has many Belizeans wondering, is life quietly getting more expensive? At the same time, fuel prices have dropped, and some tech gadgets are cheaper. But does that really help the average household struggling to keep up with grocery bills and rent hikes? With San Pedro seeing the steepest price increases and Independence Village actually experiencing a drop in prices, the question becomes, who is really benefiting and who is being left behind in this shifting economy? The unemployment rate has dropped to a record low of 2.1%, and nearly 13,700 new jobs were added over the past year. On the surface, that sounds like great news, but dig a little deeper and the picture becomes more complex. While more people are working, women and young people are still being left behind. Men are far more likely to be in the workforce, and youth unemployment remains stubbornly high. Meanwhile, informal jobs, often unstable and without benefits, make up more than 1/3 of all employment. So, is this economic progress truly inclusive? Or are some groups still being left out of the recovery?
Coming up, strike countdown nears. Unions decide Sunday. More when we return.
Planning a trip to Belize? Here's how to complete your I Declare Arrival form in 5 easy steps. Step 1. Visit belizetravel.immigration.gov.bz. Step 2. Select the appropriate forms for arrivals. Choose Arriving to Belize. Step 3. Provide your origin trip details, including your departure airport and country of residence. Step 4. Carefully complete the immigration form. Add dependents if necessary, declare baggage, currency, and merchandise, and confirm your entries are correct. Step 5. Download your completed form and take a screenshot of your QR code and reference ID to present to the immigration officer. Thank you for using Belize iTravel. Safe journey.
Belize City, get ready. The Quality Poultry Products 50th anniversary celebration is landing at our North Front Street branch with a massive fair on Saturday, June 28th, starting bright and early at 7:15 a.m. We're bringing the fun with hourly raffles, spin the wheel giveaways, and unbelievable chicken deals. Get 50 cents off per pound on legs and bag, neck and back for just $12 per crate, plus 10% off groceries. Some restrictions apply. And don't miss out on special discounts on Running W and Country Meats. There's tons of fun for the kids too. Positive clown, face painting, and a bouncy house. And music to keep the vibes high. Join us at Quality Poultry Products Belize City Branch. Because this isn't just a fair, it's a celebration of you, our amazing community. Quality Poultry Products, proudly celebrating 50 years of service to Belize.
Are you ready for KTV The Remix Season 7? The stage is set, the lights are on, and the voices are coming back stronger than ever. KTV The Remix Season 7 returns on July 1st, and it's going to be bigger, bolder, and more electrifying. New voices, new talent, fame, iconic showdown. Who will rise? Who will remix? Who will rule the stage? Tuesday, July 1st, the comeback begins. KTV, The Remix Season 7, where talent takes the mic.
Open Your Eyes morning show, bringing Belize to you. Our next stop is stunning Placencia. Join us as the country tour continues and we head to the vibrant, sun-kissed shores of Placencia, where the culture is rich, the food is mouth-watering, and the people are full of life. Expect exciting interviews, local highlights, hidden gems, and the warmth that only the South can offer. From beach vibes to village pride, Placencia, we're coming your way. Join us on June 30th at 6:30 a.m. as we bring Belize to you. Only on Open Your Eyes, start your morning right.
Powered by Digi, or National Telecom.
In our world that's always changing, one thing stays the same.
Our promise as Smart Belize to keep you connected.
Connected to the moments, the people, and the future that matter most.
With every new tower, our service upgrades, and every new smile, we're keeping our promise in building more than a network.
We're building a future, a family as Smart Belize. From Punta Gorda to Corozal, we are here not just as a network, but as your partner in progress.
We have grown significantly over the past 20 years, and we just keep growing. Thank you for placing your trust in us. We remain dedicated to providing meaningful connections that bring value in every way that matters to you. We continue to bring people together.
Prime Minister John Briceño is applauding his negotiation team after a key meeting with the joint unions in Belize City on Thursday. The government is offering a 4.5% salary adjustment this October, followed by another 4% boost in October 2026. On top of that, 2 salary increments are set to return, one in April 2026 and another in April 2027. PM Briceño is calling it an affordable proposal, but will it be enough to satisfy union demands? That's the big question moving forward.
Also, we continue to work with our unions to come to a fair and just resolution on the matter of their salary adjustment. I am assured that yesterday's meeting of the joint union negotiating team was cordial and positive. And I will have to take time out to thank the DPM and his team and the chairman. I think Minister Kenya was there. Mr. Florencio, as the Minister of Labor, was also there. I think Minister Fonseca and Minister Koi are both of the country. But they had a good meeting, cordial, tense at times, because both sides, fighting to make, or they're working hard. Whether rephrase the word fighting, but working hard to make their points. And I believe that at the end, they have come with something that can be supported by both the government and the unions. Our government, as we've been saying, Mr. Speaker, has once again offered a counter-proposal to the unions that is affordable, one that would get for our teachers and public officers the 8.5% increase in salaries and the increments over a reasonable time period. Mr. Speaker, we have never doubted that we will reach an amicable solution with the unions because we have and will always continue to act in good faith. Just as we have no doubt that together we will manage the external and internal shocks that we face. This People's United Party government has not and will not and will never throw up our hands in the air when it comes to facing the difficult task that comes with governance. We will neither grieve nor weep. We will work because that is what the Belizean people expect of us. And that is why they, the Belizean people, are standing with us.
The clock is ticking on a potential public service strike. Earlier this month, the Public Service Union gave official notice of their intent to take industrial action, and that 21-day countdown is almost up. With the deadline just days away, Labor Minister Florencio Marin joined Thursday's negotiations as an observer, keeping a close eye on talks between the government and the joint union team. Today, he told the unions have promised a response to the government's latest proposal by Sunday. And that response? It could determine whether the Ministry of Labor steps in or whether the country braces for a strike.
We do have an obligation to now start participating in it, being that from the Labor Ministry we've been asked to get ourselves involved, either to mediate or to send it back to them to continue negotiations, or if need be to take it to a tribunal. That's where we're at right now. So that we still have to wait and see.
So if Sunday is the cutoff date?
No, it is not. But the unions told the government side that they will respond on Sunday. So from there we will know. Because one of the things in their letter they wrote was that they have reached an impasse. And well, from what I saw in the meeting, I mean, it did seem quite constructive in the conversations they have. I actually enjoyed witnessing it. But I'll have to wait until Sunday to see what the response is, and I'm hoping it's a positive one.
The government of Belize is making good on a major commitment to teachers. Under Proposal 22, the Briceño administration pledged to fully cover the salaries and pensions of staff at grant-aided schools starting in 2024. That promise, hailed as a big win for educators, is now being written into law. But how much will this cost taxpayers? Education Minister Oscar Kenya breaks down the numbers behind this historic move.
Subsection 1 of Proposal 22 proposed that the Ministry of Education and the government pays the full 100% salaries and service benefits of all grant-aided secondary and tertiary level educational institutions in Belize. This full salary payment would offer all qualifying approved teaching staff, teachers and administrators full 100 pensions and service benefits for all staff, whether teaching or non-teaching, would be honored. Mr. Speaker, it is important to note that the Ministry of Education and the government currently pays a salary grant of 70%, and that is what moving it now to 100% as proposed in Proposal 22. Mr. Speaker, I just want to share with you a couple figures in terms of the budgetary allocations that this proposal has to consider. For 2024, the estimated 70% salary grant stood at $30,911,657.69. The 30% additional salaries and service benefits increased that by $13,247,853.30. The projected allowance for secondary school teachers is $790,300, bringing it to a total expenditure for 2024 to $44,949,810.99.
The rift inside the United Democratic Party is deepening. Tracy Tager Panton and her camp are once again challenging the leadership of Moses Shine Barrow, this time in court. After a judge ruled her expulsion from the party was unlawful, Panton is making it clear she and other senior members aren't going anywhere. In fact, she says they remain full members with all rights and privileges intact. But the party's official response? Not so fast. A press release under the UDP's letterhead insists the court hearing changes nothing. So who's really calling the shots, and what does this mean for the future of the UDP? We caught up with Panton today in Belmopan.
I thought the court ruling was clear the first time around when it was published in 22nd of May. However, the way we were treated as members of the party did not reflect the decision of the judge. And we sought clarification internally, and clearly there was a difference of view or interpretation as to what the judge said and what the judge meant. And so the only way to be clear is to seek clarification from the High Court, which was done. The High Court has now made it abundantly clear that the expulsions were illegal, they were invalid, therefore void, and of no legal effect. That was my understanding the first time. And so now the onus is on the Central Executive Committee of the party to ensure that my membership and the membership of the other colleagues who were purportedly expelled be done away with, that our rights and privileges be recognized as members of the United Democratic Party, so we can move forward in an effort to try and bridge the divide, unite the party, and be the robust opposition that we have a mandate to be.
The back and forth inside the United Democratic Party just got even more tangled. A new press release from Moses Shine Barrow's camp says the court didn't actually confirm Tracy Tager Panton's membership in the UDP, and that it's up to the party, not the judge, to decide who stays and who goes. But Panton isn't backing down. We asked her directly about that claim and got her take on how this ongoing tug-of-war is deepening the wounds in a party already struggling to heal.
That is not what the judge said in court yesterday. I haven't seen the most recent press release from Jamal Barrow. However, purporting to be from the UDP, because I am very doubtful that the party will hold itself out to be in contempt of court. And so I'm clear that that press release was sent by Jamal Barrow. The matter is the judge explained, as he did the first time, that the inner workings of the party is not for the court. However, the matter of law is for the court. And the party can choose to take action against me in the future, but it has to do so through the proper processes and provisions of the constitution of the party, which it failed to do, therefore making the purported expulsion unlawful, illegal, invalid, and void of any legal effect.
How does this recent back and forth impact the journey towards unity in your view?
I think it's highly unnecessary. I think going back to court was highly unnecessary, save and except that you cannot trample on the rights and privileges of members. You cannot trample on the rights and privileges of elected officials or appointed officials. Hence, we had to go back to court. It is my hope, now that this matter is finally settled, that we can move forward in a genuine effort to stop the hemorrhaging. We have bled to death, in my view. Stop the hemorrhaging and move forward to unite the party so we can be what we have a mandate to be, a robust opposition that will hold this administration to account.
After the break, UB drops the gavel on Taki, keeps the details. But first, here's the latest weather update from the Belize Met Service.
La Isla Bonita. Get ready. Quality Poultry Products San Pedro branch is throwing a 50th anniversary fair you won't want to miss. Join us on Saturday, June 28th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for a full day of fun, flavor, and fantastic deals. Spin the wheel for your chance to win. Plus, enjoy discounts everywhere you turn. Score special discounts on country meats and running W products. And don't miss out on free samples bursting with flavor. Bring the whole family and soak up the good vibes with vibrant music, hourly raffles, and giveaways all day long. And of course, amazing chicken deals. Get 50 cents off per pound legs and bag, neck and back just $12 per crate, and 10% off groceries. Some restrictions apply. It's not just a fair, it's a celebration of 50 years of serving Belize. And you are the reason we're here.
Veracidad, imparcialidad.
Este es el término utilizado.
Hemos estado haciendo el trabajo como organización. Y tus noticias en español.
Están en aguas beliceñas, entonces esta bandera se queda aquí.
Sintoniza Canal 5 cada viernes a las 7 de la noche.
Tenemos que resolver dos grandes problemas de este país.
Su voz importa, su acción cuenta.
Transfusión sanguínea, elementos que indican un deterioro evidente del estado de salud.
Somos Noticiero 5 semanal.
Perdió la vida en un heroico intento de proteger a su hermano. El Tribunal de Magistrados de la ciudad de Belice se paralizó. La policía está investigando 2 asesinatos separados.
Tu fuente de información.
A precision-engineered and sustainably made tire change your world? Attire that gives you strength and safety when you need it most.
What we learn on the track, we innovate
For the road. Bringing next level quality and reliability to every drive. At GT, we believe our tires can deeply improve the driving experience for each and every one of us, whatever our goals. Enjoy driving. GT Tire.
You pay the bill?
Ma, I got the wallet.
So you could pay the bill now?
Yeah, I can show you.
Ah.
See? Easy.
Hi there. Are you on your phone right now, scrolling on social media, listening to the radio, or watching TV? Have you ever stopped to think, what's powering my device right now? You see, electricity is essential for everyday life, powering our homes, businesses, transportation, and of course, that one binge-worthy series that you just can't stop watching. But how does it all work? This season on the What's and Why's of Energy, we're taking you behind the scenes, bringing you the latest updates and answers to your biggest energy questions. My name is Emmanuel Petch, and I invite you to join us as we go live on Facebook and get ready to see energy in a whole new light. Like, share, and follow us to be part of the conversation.
Belize Electricity Limited, providing you safe and reliable power when you need it.
Stop wasting your time and money. Come to Publix, where every dollar counts. So why shop anywhere else? Find the freshest fruits and vegetables handpicked for your family. Need something quick and delicious? Our ready-made rotisserie chicken is hot and ready to go. And with Publix Rewards, you'll save big while shopping for everything you love and need. Publix, fresh, affordable, for you.
Serving Belizean families for 27 years.
University of Belize has taken a bold and controversial step terminating the employment of faculty member Dr. Pio Saki following an investigation into allegations of professional misconduct. The university says the decision was made after a thorough and impartial review by an independent ad hoc committee followed by legal consultation. But with few details released and confidentiality cited, the public is left wondering, what exactly happened and was justice truly served? According to UB's official statement, the process began after formal complaints were filed against Dr. Saki. The university responded by launching an internal investigation led by a committee tasked with gathering evidence and conducting interviews. The findings were then reviewed by the Office of the President and independent legal counsel. The conclusion? The conduct in question amounted to gross misconduct under both UB's faculty and staff handbook and the Belize Labor Act. In a press release issued today, UB President Dr. Vincent Palacio emphasized the university's commitment to maintaining a safe and respectful academic environment. We will not tolerate conduct that undermines safety, dignity, and trust in our academic community, he stated. This action reaffirms our commitment to upholding our culture of accountability, integrity, and student-centered learning. Still, the university has declined to share further details, citing the need to protect the confidentiality of those involved. That silence has sparked curiosity and concern among students, faculty, and the wider public. Without knowing the nature of the allegations or the evidence considered, some are asking whether the process was as transparent and fair as it was thorough. The university has encouraged members of its community to report misconduct and says it is working to strengthen its internal systems for prevention, reporting, and support. But the case raises broader questions. How do institutions balance transparency with privacy? And how can the public be confident in outcomes when the details are kept behind closed doors? As the dust settles, one thing is clear. UB's decision has sent a strong message about its expectations for professional conduct. Whether that message builds trust or fuels skepticism may depend on what comes next. The Ministry of Home Affairs is under scrutiny after news broke out that retired senior police officer Aaron Guzman is being brought on as an advisor with a $70,000 salary and a government vehicle. Critics were quick to question the move, suggesting it was a cushy role created just for the CEO's benefit. But Minister Karim Musa is pushing back, saying Guzman's role is broader, meant to support the entire ministry, not just one individual. With crime evolving and new challenges like cyber threats and animal welfare on the ministry's plate, Musa argues that experienced voices like Guzman's are essential.
I think you made mention of the salary. I think that's $70,100 per year, and it is a one-year contract. And he is provided a vehicle as well. And I know that the media has run with this as some sort of new scandal. But anyone can tell you, Paul and Courtney, that Mr. Guzman is not a crony of mine. This is not a crony contract. You're talking about somebody with institutional experience and knowledge as a Deputy Commissioner of Police. And as the Deputy Prime Minister mentioned yesterday, the act of governance, no doubt today, requires all hands on deck. None of you are asking, how is it that you get the results each year that you do? That right now we stand 14 murders less than last year even. That was a record year. Nobody's looking at that. And I'm not saying that all of that is attributed to Mr. Guzman. I'm saying that there are several pieces to this puzzle, starting first and foremost with the officers of our police department who have been doing a phenomenal job in terms of the training that they've been getting, in terms of the LIU interventions that we have, in terms of all of these programs that have been implemented, and the way that crime has evolved so much. We're not talking now just about gang violence or domestic violence. We're talking about cyber security. We're talking about right now our ministry is being asked and tasked to look at animal welfare, as you recall the incident that happened with the horse. And so there's a lot of policies and strategies that somebody like Mr. Guzman can offer his advice to the ministry, not to the CEO, because you ran with that as though it's some special advisor to the CEO. I think it was you that said that, Courtney. It's not just the CEO. It is to the entire ministry that he assists in terms of the policies, programs, and strategies.
It brings into question the competence of your chief executive officer.
Again, I want to make the point, and don't cut and splice me because you've been accused of that lately. He is an advisor to the ministry. He's not limited to just advising the chief executive officer, the way Courtney had spun that.
You didn't
You
clarify.
asked the question, look back at the question.
But you didn't clarify A, and then
One
B,
of his
you
duties does require him to advise the CEO as well, but it's to the ministry. Look, and I'll share the contract with you, Paul, because you want to see, but it is to the ministry, not the CEO. So please stop going with that narrative.
Still, the question remains, is this a smart investment in public safety or a case of political optics? After more than a decade of waiting, Belize is finally moving to modernize its workplace safety laws. The Occupational Safety and Health Bill has landed in the National Assembly, aiming to replace outdated legislation and extend protection to all workers, not just those in factories. Labor Minister Florencio Marin says it's about more than rules. It's about dignity, fairness, and keeping Belizeans safe on the job. But with such a long delay in getting here, the question is, why did it take so long, and will it deliver the change workers have been demanding?
introduction of this bill in this House today reflects not only the commitment of our workers and employers, but our nation's collective commitment to human dignity, fairness, and the value of labor. By strengthening and enforcing OSH policies, we are not only protecting workers, we are building a safer, healthier, and more productive society. Mr. Speaker, the current Factories Act, which this bill seeks to repeal, is outdated and limited in scope. Our workplaces have evolved significantly, and so too must our laws. This new OSH bill expands protections beyond factories to cover all workplaces and sectors, ensuring that every worker in Belize has the right to a safe and healthy working environment. The development of this bill, Mr. Speaker, has spanned more than a decade. With the Cabinet's renewed mandate in 2024 and continued technical support from the International Labour Organization, we finalized the draft bill through wide stakeholder consultations. This bill, Mr. Speaker, aligns with Belize's international commitments under ILO Conventions number 155 and 187 and supports the implementation of our Decent Work Country Program 2024-2029.
With the legislation, Belize will establish a National OSH Advisory Committee and an OSH Inspectorate under the Ministry of Labor. When we return, potato glut in Cayo, miscalculation or market pressure?
Fellow Belizeans, today we join the world in observing World Environment Day 2025 under the urgent theme, Ending Plastic Pollution. This theme calls on each of us to recognize the critical threat that plastic pollution poses to our environment, our health, and our economy. In Belize, our beautiful Caribbean Sea, rivers, forests, and communities are under pressure from plastic waste that takes hundreds of years to break down, polluting our ecosystems and endangering wildlife. But this is a challenge we can't overcome together. The government of Belize, through my Ministry of Sustainable Development, Climate Change and Solid Waste Management, remains committed to strengthening policies that reduce single-use plastics, promoting sustainable alternatives, and supporting community-driven solutions. But we need everyone, businesses, schools, families, and individuals to be part of the solution. Let us all make conscious choices. Refuse single-use plastics, support local eco-friendly businesses, and advocate for clean, plastic-free environments in our homes and communities. Together, we can beat plastic pollution and protect our jewel for generations to come. Happy World Environment Day 2025.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
In our world that's always changing, one thing stays the same.
Our promise as Smart Belize to keep you connected.
Connected to the moments, the people, and the future that matter most.
With every new tower, our service upgrades, and every new smile, we're keeping our promise in building more than a network.
We're building a future, a family as Smart Belize. From Punta Gorda to Corozal, we are here not just as a network, but as your partner in progress.
We have grown significantly over the past 20 years, and we just keep growing. Thank you for placing your trust in us. We remain dedicated to providing meaningful connections that bring value in every way that matters to you. We continue to bring people together.
Measles is a virus that is highly infectious and spreads through the air when an infected person coughs or sneezes. It often starts with a fever, cough, runny nose, and red, watery eyes, followed by a rash that spreads all over the body. Measles can cause serious complications. But here's the good news. Measles is preventable. The safest and most effective way to protect your child is through vaccination. The MMR vaccine is safe and available at your nearest health centers and clinics. Let's keep our families and communities safe. Get vaccinated. Stay protected. Brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness in partnership with PAHO and UNICEF.
Farmers in Kaya District are sitting on mountains of unsold potatoes, hundreds of thousands of pounds to be exact. They say contraband imports are flooding the market and undercutting their prices. But Agriculture Minister Jose Mai isn't buying that explanation entirely. He says the real issue might be a risky strategy that backfired. Farmers holding on to their crops, hoping to cash in when supply runs low. Now, with prices falling and storage costs rising, the question is, was this a case of market manipulation gone wrong, or are farmers being squeezed by forces beyond their control?
Last week, my chief agriculture officer and the director of extension met with these farmers from 5 miles and 7 miles in the Kaya district. At this moment, they are the only people that have potatoes, but they have cold storage. And I don't agree with sometimes what they do, but I understand why they do it. These farmers store their potatoes and kept it. Of course, you store it longer, and then you sell at the end of the crop when nobody has at a high price. I think they didn't manage to balance it well, because you cannot force people to pay a high price. They met and they said, we have a contraband problem. Contraband has always been there, right? The question is, you have to manage it. Is it that much that will allow you to lose or not? Baja, supplies control, extension officers, customs have it out there, and we haven't seen much white potatoes on the market. You see them, you see them now and again, okay? So we are telling them that we are controlling it, but storing the potatoes, holding it, and releasing it until the end of the crop at $2 a pound is not cutting it for the consumer, right? And the producer deserves the best, but the consumer also deserves the best in quality and in price. And so I think that they miscalculated the time, right? And of course, we control the importation of this. We control how much is imported. And so they were saying, well, you hold on the importation until I could sell my potato at $2 a pound. Potatoes are in Draco selling at $1.80. So when they met in my team told them, you are selling at $2 a pound. Draco is $1.80. So the wholesalers would go to Draco to buy at $1.80. They were selling at wholesale price at $2 a pound. So a 100-pound sack is $200. And so I got a call this morning from one of them. I said, but at $2 a pound, man. And some of these people bought, in Drac at $1.35, put it in a container to store, and now selling at $2.
Belize's breathtaking marine spaces, the coral reefs, the mangroves, the turquoise waters, are more than just postcard perfect. They're vital to our way of life, but right now they're in trouble. Climate change is hitting hard, eroding our beaches, damaging habitats, and threatening the wildlife that calls our coast home. That's why back in 2022, the Belize Fund for a Sustainable Future was launched to protect and restore what we're at risk of losing. This week, journalists from across the country got behind-the-scenes look at how data science and smart investments are helping build a resilient blue economy. So what does it take to save the sea? Let's dive in.
Well, a big part of what the Belize Fund does is to provide support through financial support, that is, and that's a very critical source of support needed for Belize. And what enables us to do that is funding coming out of the Blue Bond. So this program is really important for Belize, and the work of the fund is crucial, as it is a partner with government in ensuring that the monies we have are invested into Belize and into people on the ground. And that's a big focus of the fund, trying to make sure we find the right partners to connect with, to support initiatives and projects that can create meaningful and impactful changes and lasting changes on the ground. So all our grantees, they're selected through calls, and those calls look at particular areas of priorities. And today, the areas we're looking at are directly relating to protection for biodiversity and focus on marine protected area management. So our support is all primarily for those.
It has to be competitive. And how do we do competitive? We ensure that the projects that we get are aligned to at least one of our 4 thematic areas, right? Protection for biodiversity, sustainable fisheries, climate resilience, or blue business innovation.
Up next, guarding the net and the future, the legacy of Shane O'Rio.
Welcome to Brody's, your one-stop shop for everything you need. In our grocery store, you'll find the freshest produce, quality meats, and a variety of organic options. Our pharmacy is here for your health needs, with expert pharmacists ready to assist and advise. Trust us for your prescriptions, over-the-counter medications, and wellness products. Discover our department store for a variety of quality products, from the latest fashion trends to appliances and cutting-edge electronics. Enhance your lifestyle with our wide selection of home goods, toys, and more. At Brody's, we bring convenience, quality, and care together, all under one roof. Brody's, your one-stop shop for everything you need. Enjoy shopping at our 3 convenient locations: Brody's Belmopan Store, Northern Superstore, and Albert Store. Service, value, satisfaction.
Are you ready for KTV The Remix Season 7? The stage is set, the lights are on, and the voices are coming back stronger than ever. KTV The Remix Season 7 returns on July 1st, and it's going to be bigger, bolder, and more electrifying. New voices, new talent, fame, iconic showdown. Who will rise? Who will remix? Who will rule the stage? Tuesday, July 1st, the comeback begins. KTV The Remix Season 7, where talent takes the mic.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized funds to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
Week after week, Scald presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scald is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scald, a look into the future.
In our world that's always changing, one thing stays the same.
Our promise as Smart Belize to keep you connected.
Connected to the moments, the people, and the future that matter most.
With every new tower, our service upgrades, and every new smile, we're keeping our promise in building more than a network.
We're building a future, a family as Smart Belize. From Punta Gorda to Caraza, we are here not just as a network, but as your partner in progress.
We have grown significantly over the past 20 years, and we just keep growing. Thank you for placing your trust in us. We remain dedicated to providing meaningful connections that bring value in every way that matters to you. We continue to bring people together.
Belizean football has seen its fair share of stars, but few shine quite like Shane O'Rio. From commanding the goalposts as the national team's trusted keeper to now shaping young talent off the field, Shane's journey is nothing short of inspiring. Tonight we're headed to the capital, where his passion for the game lives on through a football academy that's more than just drills and goals. It's about building character, discipline, and dreams. In this week's Look on the Bright Side, Sabrina Daly takes us inside the legacy Shane O'Rio is creating, one kick at a time.
He once defended the goalposts for Belize with pride. Shane O'Rio's nearly two-decade career includes leading Belize at World Cup qualifiers and winning an international club title with Punta Arenas FC in Costa Rica, the first Belizean to do so. His gloves carried grit and glory, inspiring generations.
Everybody loves, the way how he keeps in the goal, and he's definitely a father figure for football and a leader. When he's a captain, so he knows how to lead, and he really taught me a lot in football.
For many young athletes, Shane O'Rio's name means excellence and determination. His success showed aspiring footballers what dedication looks like and sparked hope across Belize.
I'm only 12 years old, but I knew that Shane used to be one of the best goalkeepers in Belize. He taught me that football is a team sport, another individual one.
Now, Shane focuses on nurturing Belize's youth through the Shane Orio Football Academy, which serves boys and girls ages 4 to 13. The academy provides a safe space where kids can build skills, grow confidence, and dream big.
For me, that have always been one of my goals, to be able to come back home and to share with kids my experience, and apart from that, offer them an opportunity that was offered to me when I was young. The only difference is that I'm trying to offer that opportunity to these kids at a younger age, which will help them in their development and in their goals in the future.
Another key figure in Belizean football and a close friend of Shane Orio is Ian Guinair. Like Orio, Guinair has been a major inspiration for young players through his dedication on and off the field. Their shared passion for the sport and for developing new talent highlights the importance of bridging the gap between today's leaders and tomorrow's stars.
Shane comes from a very professional background and behavior, so Shane has a lot to offer, and I think it's an honor for me, Shane, and some other ex-national team players to give back, to have our own little academy and could give back, because around Belize we don't have much where we could say for kids to do, especially in football academy, where it's semi-professional, because we don't have that. We just have some coaches just trying, and most of them are not at the level to know exactly what they're doing.
For any young footballer, exposure beyond Belize is a big deal. This July, 4 U13 players will travel to Costa Rica to develop their skills. The chance was made possible through Orio's long-standing ties in the region. It's a moment of growth, both for the players and the dream behind the academy.
The U13 level, or measuring stick, to a certain extent, we have won both. We are back-to-back champions at the U13 level in Belmopan. That's one. Two is for me to see how they will be doing physically on the pitch in Costa Rica, see how they will be doing tactically, and most importantly, the mental or the psychological aspect of the game. Will they be able to cope the short days that we'll be there, the difficulty that they'll have? And for me, it will be a growing experience, but also it will be a growing and a learning experience for them to see where they need to move, the adjustments that they need to make if they want to be professional at some point in time.
It's a great opportunity. It shows me how far I've come from playing football in my yard to now going to Costa Rica.
What are some of the things you hope to achieve when you're out there, or learn while you're out there?
I hope to get better, maybe get scouted by a football team in Costa Rica.
It means a lot because I never went abroad out of the country before, even to vacation. I never came out of Belize, and this means a lot because I have a lot of opportunities in Costa Rica.
Shane Orio's story is more than personal success. It's the foundation of a legacy that will shape Belizean football for years to come. From guarding the net to mentoring youth, he's creating pathways and opening doors. And if you ask him, with all the success and accolades he's earned, the legacy he hopes to leave is one of giving back to his home.
But the legacy that I want to leave is the legacy of giving back to the kids, giving back to Belize. I played with a lot of other players from different countries, and some were able to settle in Costa Rica. Foreigners, again, some foreigners were able to settle in Honduras, and I also played in Guatemala. Some foreigners were able to settle in Guatemala, but my dream was always to come back home to at least to help the kids, to help the athletes, to help the country.
Like a goalkeeper, still guarding the net, Shane Orio is protecting Belize's football future, ready to pass the ball to the next generation and watch them make the game their own. Looking on the bright side, I'm Sabrina Daly.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook, and on YouTube. Noticiero Cinco Semanal is up next. You don't want to miss it. I'm Jamie Rock. Thanks for joining us. From all of us here at News 5, have a happy and safe weekend. Good night.